What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and this is your T.S. Madison experience review. What episode is this? It's episode 5. Episode 5. Overall, was a good episode. Remember, from the last episode, they're going to take a trip to Miami. Madison's taking everybody down in an RV. Before they leave, Maddie is having a conversation with Hope. Shout out to Hope. She says she needs some advice, and they're sitting down having a conversation. They go out, and Madison is explaining to Hope how people still refer to her as her dead name, people in her family. And Hope basically says, you let them get away with it. You let them do that. And then Madison goes on to explain what a dead name is and how it is disrespectful to refer to a trans person by their dead name. And it's, so many people just, when Madison called her dad, even Hope was like, call him right now. I bet you he's going to say some crazy shit to you. And she says, what Hope said was really, I think was really crucial. It's like, if the people can't respect you by calling you what you are to be referred as, then they should not have access to you. And I completely agree. And then Hope tells her that you let your dad be disrespectful. You let him be disrespectful. But Madison explains how her dad was never present there, and that they, he and Miss Mary had her very young. They were like 16. They were teen parents. And Hope says if he could ask you for money, he can definitely refer to you as Madison and say daughter instead of son. That shit, when I tell you, when Madison called her dad and he kept calling her by her dead name and was calling her son, and it was just like, you are so disrespectful. Like, I get it, but at the same time, like from Miss Mary's perspective, I can see like I'm slipping up, but you know that she's trying. You understand what I'm saying? There's someone who is trying and someone who is just willfully being disrespectful and just like, I'm going to say what I want to say to you. I'm going to call you by what your mom, it just made me so uncomfortable watching that. And then in the conversation, Maddie says, I'm your daughter. And I'm going to come down there. I feel like we need to see each other because we need to get on one accord where we are respecting each other. And he's like, yeah, because, we're adults. Yeah. And it's just like, I just don't understand how so many people think that it is okay to refer to a trans person by their dead name or their old pronouns. To me, I feel like it's in the same vein as if I were to change my name. If I were to just go down to the courthouse and change my name, and I ask you to call me whatever the name I changed my name to, and you continuously refer to me as the name that I changed my name from. It is disrespectful. It would also mean the same thing as when some of you silly bitches go outside and change your name. When you get married, if somebody were to continue to call you by your maiden name, you would have a problem with that. You would say, no, my name is such and such and such and such. I don't understand how people can understand it in that sense. But when it comes to you, when it comes to that, it's like, I don't get it. Oh, well, I don't know how to do it. I get confused. No, you don't get confused. You don't get confused. You being disrespectful. See, I done got mad. They showed Maddie in my favorite wig. That little Richard Penniman wig is my favorite wig. I don't care what nobody says. Every time Maddie wear that wig, it's my favorite, bitch. It's my favorite wig every time. So they getting ready in the morning of the road trip. And Craig tells Miss Mary, all that praying and hollering and screaming for Jesus and stuff like that, we're not about to do that on this damn RV. Get your praying in now. It was funny. So somebody, I don't know who said it, but when they was walking outside, somebody said, it's a real RV. These niggas is crazy. So Madison lets us know that she does not like to fly. And then Holly, who makes the food, she's getting ready to drive, and we find out that she's never driven an RV. And then she says, I'm going to tap into my inner lesbian. Everybody's looking like, wait, you're not a lesbian? I said, oh my God. It's so many small little things in there that'd be so funny, and you can't catch all of the things that Chi-Chi be saying on the side. That shit is funny to me. Okay, anyways, so they get into the RV, they getting everything together, and Miss Mary starts to praying, and it's a long prayer. Now Craig already told you, I don't know what Miss Mary be doing for Craig to be like. First of all, he said she prays too loud. That was on the last episode. And then he said, we're not going to have you calling. What does she be doing, calling out Jesus? What is going on? I want to know. I need to know. Anyways, Madison brings out, they're on the RV. Madison brings out this whiteboard, right? And Craig said he didn't know that Maddie was ready to start pitching her stuff. So like, okay, whatever. So Oliver says, oh, this bitch then really got us trapped on this RV so we can come up with ideas for her show. He was like, you smart bitch. Okay. You done trapped us. Anyway, so it was so funny when they were talking about loud, live, and in color. But it's so funny how long it took them to get it together. But shit like that makes a difference, because it just makes a difference. It makes a difference in the way that it looks. It just makes a difference. So it could take a long time to talk about an ampersand versus the word and. It's funny to me. I thought it was funny. So they get to Miami, and they get to Miss Mary's house, and they go in Miss Mary's house, and there's pictures of Madison before she transitioned on the wall. And I was talking to Diva earlier, and I was like, how do you feel about that? And we both were like, well, that's Miss Mary's house. That's her home. And you know how she said that she lost a son and gained a daughter, and those are memories of her son. So that's her house. And it was funny when Craig was like, look at the lady in waiting. Yes. And then Miss Mary let us know that Maddie got prom king, and Chi said she still was a bull dagger back then. Oh my God. Bitch, I be hollering in there. I be hollering in here watching them. It's so funny. I thought it was cute. I don't know if anybody noticed it, but I thought it was so cute when they were talking. Madison was talking about how she would be coming home through the window dressed in drag, and this is that in high school. And you could see Oliver rubbing Chi-Chi's head. I like stuff like that. I'd be watching. Anyways, I thought that was so cute. So Madison was sharing how one time her little brother got a whooping for putting on some of her lipstick. And so she felt as though she didn't want to bring that kind of, I guess, them get in trouble for what she's doing. Miss Mary said she didn't remember. I think Madison has spoken about that before. She talks about other instances with Miss Mary. Miss Mary be like, I don't remember. I don't know. I think, part of that I think is when a lot of Black parents disciplined in anger. And I think as traumatic as it is for the child that is being disciplined, I think it's also traumatic for the person, and they block it out too. I really believe that, because so many times you tell your parents about something they did to you, and they're like, I don't remember that. And it's like, how do you not remember that? And it's so happened to me, like you did it to me, and somehow, some way you don't remember. Anyways, I really believe that. I really believe they block that abuse out, even though they were the abuser, or they were the person who caused the pain or the discipline, however you want to call it. Anyways, so they talked about that. Oliver talked about how he always knew from when he was little. And that's why I don't understand how people, it's just like Madison said to her dad, when did you know you were straight? Right? I think it's really messed up how you can push heterosexuality on children at such a young age, where you get grown people asking little kids in elementary school if they have boyfriend and girlfriends. But if a little boy is demonstrating femininity or what you believe how femininity is performed, and you act like they are learning it from somewhere, or you're acting like you can push being straight onto a child, but then act like being gay is learned, right? And when do you make a decision at such a young age that you are straight? Or when did you make a decision that you were gay? No, you were born like that, and that is how you felt, right? But some people like asking little kids, who's your boyfriend, and, oh, do you have a boyfriend or girlfriend? You're pushing an idea onto them that they may not even feel like that. They may not even like boys. And you're asking a little girl, do you have a boyfriend? And she's probably thinking like, a boyfriend? I really haven't really paid attention. I've been looking at girls. I don't get it. And then you kind of, when you're pushing that heteronormative ideologies into children, it makes children who are gay, who are gay, feel a certain way. And when people feel like, oh, I don't want to see, same-sex couples on television, but you see heterosexual couples on television, don't you think that a child who is gay feels a certain kind of way when they only see one type of representation on television? It's almost as if you believe, and some people believe, that being straight is a default setting in humanity, and it's not. And that's what I think is so weird, is that you believe that there's only one way to be, and any other thing outside of that doesn't fit what you've been taught and you've been fed, then something is wrong with it. Like, it's just, I just don't understand how people don't get it at the base. And at the base of all of that is trying to believe that this one way, if it's not white, if it's not male, if it's not heterosexual, if it's not Christian, anything outside of that, something is wrong. Like, I know I've gone too far, but that is like, I don't understand how you don't see how at the root of all of this, even how we deal with each other as Black people, and how Black people treat Black LGBTQIA plus people, it's like when you are going against that, or when you're telling them that it's wrong, your ideologies are rooted in white supremacy, and that's what you're trying to get them to abide by. And I don't think a lot of people understand that, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, her brothers come over, and their wives and their children, and Miss Mary is bouncing little nephew, what was his name, Martino, bouncing him up and down and stuff, and it was cute or whatever. And grandma's baby, yes. And I hear so many people who become grandparents say how, like, you love your children, but then when you see your grandkids, you're just like, oh, the love that you did not understand that you had in yourself for another human being, you have that for your grandkids. I always hear people who become grandparents say that. And I think it's so, like, I'm like, what is it? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess until I become a grandparent that I won't understand that feeling. But I always hear a lot of people who become grandparents say that. So anyways, Maddie gets on the phone with New York, and she tells her she has another idea and that she needs her, and that, and then New York was like, I could be the best virtual experience. She's like, no, because it's not the same. Virtual guests are not the same. I need that energy. Okay. So we got that. So then there's this little clip where Maddie is talking about how there were things that she had to do in order to survive. And there are trans people who have to do things to survive, and what they really want are equal opportunity, jobs, housing, to be loved, and to be seen as human, because we are human. And it's just, to me, I just don't understand how people cannot, I just don't, I think it's, I don't know. I don't even know how to say it, because I'm like, I don't understand. Even when Madison was walking towards her father, you see this woman walking towards you and you still want to say son. Like, I don't like that. I was just so annoyed by that. I couldn't, I was just like, this is a mess. Anyway, so Legra is at Madison's house and she's meeting with the construction worker or contractor, whatever, Mimi, I think her name is. And Madison calls and they're worried about, the layout or whatever. And it's going to be a surprise. I think this is really a cool part of the show because hopefully at the end of the season, we get to see Madison's new studio. I think that's actually pretty cool. Anyways, so they're driving around Miami and I think Madison or somebody asked, are you excited to be here? And Madison says, I'm not. And Chi Chi says, me neither. She says, I'm so far gone from this place. And Craig says, I think a lot of people feel like that about their hometowns. Like they go back and they're looking at people like, oh, I really liked you. Like, child, you could not have, And I think a lot of people feel like that about their hometowns, especially in Madison's situation where it's a lot of like mess and stuff that she had to get through to get to where she is now. And it's like, you don't want to go back to that because you're in a different space. But she takes us back to the Holstrom. She talks about when she was running through the woods, running through some bushes or something, some grass, and she was in some poison ivy. Some man drove up and she said, honey, I'll suck your dick for free, let me in. He said, come on, baby, get in. So somebody asked, I think it was Oliver who said, what made sex work an option? And she said, because, we're discriminated against and we have to live and we have to survive. So that's what will happen. She also shared with us that she feels like she has a covering over her because there have been so many trans women who have been killed, men and women who have been killed. And she has been in these crazy situations. And you hear when Maddie tells stories, different stories, every now and then she'll tell a story. And it's just like, girl, you went through that. Like, and you hear right here, he says, two group of girls out there. Is the girls who will be like, watch out for him or watch out for that person. And the girls will be like, girl, if you die, you die. It's competition out here. That is so wild to me. But that's what has to happen. And those things, and it's crazy because those things are happening because we live in a society where being trans is looked at by a majority of people as something wrong. And and I just don't understand. I don't get it. So Oliver says, I can understand why Maddie has anger, trust, and abandonment issues. It makes me see her in a different way. Craig also says it makes me want to help her get to the next level now that I've seen, different aspects of her life. It's just wants to help her succeed. Then New York calls Legra and says she wants to surprise Madison with her dad, child. He says, how are you, son? I love that Madison was like, what do you want me to call you? And it's just something as simple as that. Like, what do you want me to call you? I feel that it's a sense of superiority, especially within the Black community, because in the social totem pole, Black people are very low in the social totem pole, and we're just going to be honest. And trans people are even lower in social hierarchy. And I feel that Black people kind of act like they're better than and want to act superior and better because it's a group that you can be better than the way that white people treat Black people. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's how I feel. That's why I feel like it's a lot of disrespect. And it's almost reminiscent on how white people treat Black people. It's the same thing. It's like you want to have a hierarchy over somebody, and trans people, you have that over them. And you feel like you want to exert that. And then he gonna say, I was robbed of the father and son relationship. You were not involved in Maddie's life. So what the fuck are you talking about? I'm sorry. What the fuck are you talking about? You weren't even involved. So what was you robbed of? She was robbed if anybody was robbed. Something had to occur. What are you trying to say? See, there's this idea that something bad happened to someone because they don't want to be straight or they don't want to be the gender that they were assigned at birth. Like that's I know that's what the fuck he was talking about. See, I'm getting mad and I don't want to get mad, but I know that's what he was trying to say. And something had to occur. It's not easy for me to accept. I can't see me calling you a woman's name. And then, I don't know, that Maddie said, I got to learn to listen and instead, and not clap back. Because I would have been like, see, that's what the fuck I'm talking about. But I love that Madison was like, that Tim and Son shit, that got to stop. That shit has to stop. Because it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. But just like Hope said at the beginning of the episode, if they can't respect you, do not allow them access to you. I don't give a who it is. Mom, dad, whoever. If they're not respecting you, don't allow them access to you. Then at the end of the episode, this nigga says, I think it's a possession. Girl, I can't take it anymore. Now, see, not only what did I say? White, male, straight, Christian. Now you bringing in some religious type of, what? Like, come on, man. Like, that doesn't even make sense. And then the episode ended. I was like, okay. Girl, that is the ignorance for me. I can't deal with it. Anyways, y'all, take care of each other. The edibles done kicked in. Take care of each other and protect your energy. Peace.